Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and what a game of football it turned out to be between Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. The game ends 1-all. Another shock result in the FIFA World Cup 2026. Another perfect prediction from yours truly. I went for a 1-all draw. It ended up being a 1-all a draw. And the Asian teams at the World Cup are still undefeated. So we are having a great time. So let's get into the game. I'm really over the moon with this result. I'm a bit disappointed that Saudi Arabia did not win in the end, but I'm quite happy with the way the game went. It started slow. I'm at the start of the game. I think the first 20 to 25 minutes it was really slow. I think if I'm being very honest with you, I think Uruguay were really bad in that first half. I think they were really slow. There was no momentum for the Uruguayan side. They were really poor. They were quite happy to let Saudi have the ball, which was quite surprising knowing the talent that the Uruguayans possess. But I think you need to give credit to the Saudis. They were quite patient. I said in my preview as well that the growth that the Saudi players have had from the 2022 to 2026, it's quite a lot because they have been playing the Saudi Pro League, and the level of Saudi Pro League has gone to a new heights, and they have played with so many good international players that they have gotten a lot better. And you saw that today in their game, in this game as well. Mentality wise and mentally, they are so strong now as compared to previous editions of the World Cup, and you saw this in their performance. As I said, the game for me, like the first 20 minutes were really boring. None of those teams were in a way not really ready to do anything. There was no attempt from either of the side. And I felt and as the game went by, the Saudis really started to get up. I think after the first hydration break in that first half, I think that the second part of that first half, Saudi Arabia were on top. I think I might be wrong, but I think the thinking was that make sure don't concede early on, and then we can have a go at the Uruguayans. And I think that hydration break was really good in terms of the game because it was quite flat for the first 20 to 20 odd minutes, because none of the teams really tried to have a go at each other. They were quite reserved. They were just it felt like a cat and mouse game. But the second part of that first half was really entertaining from Saudi Arabia's perspective. The way that they took the game to Uruguayans, I think the Uruguayans were quite shocked as well with the way that the Saudis approached the game in that period of the time. They created so many chances, especially like they had like 10 to 15 minute spell where it was Saudis going after one after the wave of attack after one. It was such a great way of playing football from Saudi Arabia, and I mean the European keeper had to make 3 or 4 very crucial saves before they ended up scoring that goal, and it was a well worked goal. It came from a corner kick, and Al Amri reacts really fast. It shows again. I'm gonna say the awareness and mentally the how alive they are right now in this World Cup. It is because how good the Saudi Pro League has become, and how they are are playing at a higher level week in week out. So that gives them the awareness to be aware of everything what is happening, and that really helped them scoring in that goal. It becomes 1-0, and even after scoring that first goal, it just felt like the Saudis were gonna take the game to the Uruguayans. They are a bit lucky. I felt like they should have been 2-0 up before the end of the first half. They missed a lot of chances in that first half, and I think that is could be the only downside for the Saudis. Second half came in, and I think they got a real what's speaking to from the manager. Bielsa would have gone at his Uruguayan players because they were really poor in that half. In a way, it was quite a pathetic performance in that first half from Uruguay, and Saudis were excellent. In second half, the game sort of flipped. I don't think Saudis were that bad, but I think Uruguayans upped their game from 1 to 100 in that second half, and you could just see, it was a completely different game. They switched gears so much in that second half, and they took the game to the Saudis. And as the game went on, Saudis tried in the second half. I think they tried to attack Uruguay in the second half as well, try to get another goal. But as the game went on, I think from the 55th 60-minute mark, and before also Uruguayans were attacking, but after the 60th minute it was just Uruguay attack after attack, and they wanted that equalizer. and they kept on getting closer and closer, and you just felt, Saudis were starting to go deep in their own half, and you felt like, the goal was coming. It would have been a big miracle. I personally felt that if Saudis managed to win the game, because they barely attack in that second half, and I think that is something they really need to work on if they want to go deeper into the tournament. They have a big chance now with the way the group is right now, but they need to learn from this. But and I have to feel for Muhammad Al the way that he uh, you know the way he performed 9 saves in a single match. He was spectacular performance from the Saudi goalkeeper. Even when he conceded, he made the first save and the second save. Then on the rebound, Maxine Oreo scores that goal. A bit unfortunate for the goalkeeper, but I still thought for me, he was the man of the match. Even though Al Amri scored the goal and Argo scored the goal, I felt like Al Owais was clearly the man of the match, because it was spectacular. The amount of saves that he made, they were not easy saves. Even before, Saudi Arabia scored the goal, there were a couple of really good saves in the first half from Al Owais that he had to make to keep Saudi in the game, and they ended up scoring, and that gave confidence to the entirety of that team. He tried really hard, but it did not happen for Saudi Arabia. I think they should be really pleased with themselves. I personally feel that there was a chance for them to win this game, and they win this game and they defeat Curacao, and Cape Verde, and you are 6 points, and Saudi Arabia qualify for the next round. So that would have been amazing for them if winning this game. They have not won it. I still think it's a massive result, and it shows the growth of Saudi Arabia. I personally feel that when this score conceded that second goal, prior World Cups, they would have ended up losing that game, if I'm being very honest with you. But now they have so much, mentally they are so strong, and they have so much awareness, and they know how to play the game. That the game awareness and game management that the Saudis have learned over the last 4 years, that has really helped them to be able to make sure that they don't end up losing the game. Even though the moment they conceded, a lot of heads would have gone down, but they kept on going. And as I say, that the game management that they have learned over the last 4 years really helped them. Now the group is really wide open. You have Spain on 1 point, Cape Verde on 1 point, Saudi Arabia on 1 point, and of course Uruguay on 1 point. That if it's speaking on the Saudis perfect perspective, because again, they are my neighbors. This is like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes drive from my home to Saudi Arabia, so I am going to be supporting that. If we are talking about from Saudi Arabia's perspective, that game against Cape Verde, no matter what happens, no matter what the situation, you need to win that game, and then you hope that something miraculous happen in your game against Spain. They have given them a themselves a great chance to go into the next round. Let's not forget the third place team also qualifies. So for me, I think Saudi Arabia have a great chance to go into the next round. They need to win that game against Cape Verde, and if they end up, let's hope they don't lose against Spain. But even if they lose against Spain, let's hope it's not by a bigger margin. They could end up be finishing the third or even the fourth place with 4 points, because if Spain defeats Saudi Arabia and Spain defeats Uruguay, and I expect Uruguay to defeat Cape Verde, they are going to have 2 points at two teams at 4 points. So that is going to be really crucial. I think it's a giant step for Saudi Arabia towards a qualification of the next round, and I think that's going to be really good for them. Uruguay themselves, I think they are going to be a bit disappointed, because they were the favorites going into them. They are much better team. That the players are much better. In a way, I really thought it was going to be a tight game. Again, I really don't understand why people are not giving credit to some of these teams. I understand you guys don't really watch these teams, and we saw in the Belgium Egypt team, everybody went for Belgium, which was quite surprising. Again, in this game, everybody thought Uruguay were going to win it quite convincingly. I said it was not going to be an easy game for Uruguay, and it was not an easy game. The first half they were really poor. Second half they stepped up, and now Uruguay themselves are going to be looking at the situation. It becomes a must-win game for them against Spain, if they don't really want to be in a jumble of finishing second and a third. So the group is wide open, and with Spain drawing as well, so it is looking really tough. And if you're a Saudi fan, it's a big night, and there's now big chances that you are going to be in the next round of the World Cup. That's from me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Saudi's performance, your guys' performance, and right now with the match after match, they went after every team on 1 point. Who do you think is going to qualify? Who's going to top the group, and who do you think qualify for the next round? Let me in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification button, of course, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the group stages. 20 subscribers remaining, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.